It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Texas Wesleyan head women's basketball coach, Coach Brentia Jackson. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college basketball?
Sure. I actually got a call from a former coach of mine who I played for, and she called and um, offered the opportunity for me to come be her assistant. And she just had such a major impact in my life as a mentor and role model. And so it wasn't necessarily a career that I was pursuing or looking for. But when it called and the opportunity came to me, because the impact that my coach had in my life, I was definitely interested in and wanted to go and help her and be that same impact and role model for other young ladies.
What was that like going to Southern Louisiana to play collegiate basketball?
Yes, so I played at Southeastern, and it was a lot of fun. I started JUCO for 2 years at Lawn Morris College, and then I was recruited to go play at Southeastern there in the Southland Conference. It was very challenging. It was tough. It's Division I. We played against some SEC schools, and so you had to come and bring it every single night. And back then, the Southland Conference had schools in it like Texas State and UTA and UL Monroe, and it was a UTSA was in it back then, and so it was a lot more split between Texas and Louisiana schools, very highly competitive, and we definitely enjoyed our experience there. We won the conference my senior year, and so like I say, it was challenging, but it was fun. And if you're up for the challenge, then you're obviously going to be able to do some things and turn the program around like we were able to.
How's that experience like, obviously, first starting off at JUCO and then going to Division I or Division II?
It was a huge adjustment. It was a transition at the junior college level. Everybody's playing, everybody, because it's just freshmen and sophomores. And so everybody knows each other. It's a much smaller campus. When you're not in class, your teachers know, they care, they're at the games. And so adjusting from that, going to the Division I level where your professors probably don't know you. The classroom sizes are about 100, and you got to make an appointment to talk to their assistants when you miss a class to figure out what you missed. It was a huge adjustment. And then obviously playing wise at the Division I level, the IQ is very high. And so I had to watch a lot more film. I had to get into the details of improving my game. But I will say at the junior college level, everybody's hungry because everybody's trying to get re-recruited. And so I learned how to play at a high level there and compete every day there, which helped me when I went Division I. It helped a lot because I knew already not to take a night off.
How's that process like, obviously, as you talked about getting re-recruited as a JUCO versus just coming out as a freshman and going Division I?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was very challenging because a lot of the Division Ones were not really interested in, my game, and that was hard for me to accept my freshman year. But at the same time, it also posed an opportunity for me to get better. Um, Going from junior college and my freshman year not really getting that many looks and offers, and then my sophomore year getting like an overflow of recruitment and phone calls from Division Is all over the country, and just my interest level jumped. It was a huge part of it was just me accepting that there are certain parts of my game I got to improve. I got to be coachable. I got to do the things that they are wanting to see. And so I had to humble myself and figure out what it is that I can do to improve in the off season. And so I took my training that off season real serious. And then also too, like I say, watching film and getting in the gym and working on those details, because at the college level, everybody's athletic, everybody's tall, everybody, has some type of a skill set. And so you really have to get into the details of how you can use your skill set and master something to be better than other people. So, for me, it was initially kind of tough to not know, like, oh, they're not knocking on my door, to know that, just like I'm trying to get recruited, everybody on my team is, and every other JUCO player in the country is. So I got to bring something to the table that is so undeniably good that's going to make somebody want me on their team. And I had to, go through that process. But for me, it worked out. For me, I had an amazing coach who advocated for me and was honest with me and told me, what I had to work on and what I was good at, do that stuff. And so I did it. And then, like I say, my recruitment went up, and I had to promote, my own game films and send that stuff out. It wasn't as accessible as it is now, where you can just get on YouTube and watch players play. We had, I'm probably about to age myself, but we were sending out VHS tapes back then. And so it was a little bit different recruitment process than just logging in and getting online. We're sending out VHS tapes trying to get recruited. And so it was an investment. It was a personal investment that, me and my coach, I used some of my own money to invest to get us a camera, to get us those VHS tapes, to mail it out. And, it paid off. I'm grateful that I did, but it was a grind. And like I say, everybody's trying to get recruited. So you have to be so undeniably good at something that a coach looks at you and says, I got to have that on my team.
Of course, what was that moment like when you did get to play collegiate basketball at the highest level and get to put on that jersey?
It was amazing. It was, for me, it was something that I had dreamed about, and to actually get to do it, like you said, it's almost surreal, just wanting to do something, praying about it, dreaming about it. That's one thing. But then when you actually put in the work to do it and get, some no's and some denials and some no thank yous, to finally overcome that, to get to the yeses and get to that opportunity, it's a blessing. And I don't take it for granted, but it's surreal. It really lets you know, from my perspective, it lets you know that, my hard work didn't go in vain. And God really blessed me to be able to do it, because there's a lot of people that don't. And so I was blessed to be able to play at the highest level and put on that uniform and do what it was that I love to do.
What were some of your collegiate accomplishments throughout your college time?
Yes, so at the junior college level, I was all conference, all academic, and our team went to the championship game of the conference tournament. We defeated the #1 team in the nation, Trinity Valley, when they had a point guard named Shannon Bobbitt. That was just complete stud. She left Trinity Valley, graduated there, went to Tennessee, played with Candace Parker the last few championships that she won with Pat Summitt, just to go to show you the level of competition that we were playing against. So to beat them when we did, that was a big deal for us. And then when I went to Southeastern Louisiana University, I was all conference. I was all Louisiana, all conference, all academic team as well. And then our team won the 2007 Southland Conference Championship. So those are some of the accomplishments, both individuals. I'm obviously most proud of the team wins and the things that we were able to do as a team, because at the end of the day, we're a team sport. And if I get all conference, but I can't help us win, to me, that's individual stuff, and it's not as big to me as winning is. So, and then you get to share those memories with your teammates, and obviously you have kids later on and y'all talk about those memories that you made together.
What was that process like, obviously leaving college and getting into college coaching versus going professionally and playing?
Yes. So getting to go play professionally, I think that was a little bit easier, if I can say, than playing in college. Because in college, you are doing two full-time jobs. You're a full-time student and you got to maintain a certain GPA, plus you're preparing for your next opponent. Whereas when I got to play professionally, I had my degree. I didn't have to take any classes and I could literally just focus on, the training part of it, the getting in the weight room or going for a swim to help my body recover, and eating and that kind of stuff. So I love that part of just getting to do what I love, but I did miss the environment of being a student athlete. I enjoy learning and being in the classroom, but it really is two full-time jobs, if I'm being honest. But I did like getting to just focus on my training, my body, my eating, my, getting shots up, like wake up, first thing I'm doing, go get something to eat, go down there, get some shots up, and then go to the weight room. That was, it was fun, but I did miss, like I say, the environment of, being a part of a college campus, because there's a camaraderie that comes with that. And I don't think there's anything better than college athletics in America. And I learned that when I was overseas. A lot of those young ladies, they dream to play college basketball in America, but it's nothing like that camaraderie, that community that you build, and just the connection that you get with fans, with alumni, all of that kind of stuff. So I don't think there's anything like it, but I did enjoy just getting to go to the gym, shoot, eat, take a nap, go shoot again, and then go play a game.
Of course, during your professional time, what was that like, obviously getting to play overseas, and how was the transition like after you decided to put down the ball to get into coaching?
So it was, for me, I personally am a lot more connected to my family. And so being all the way in Denmark, it was lonely. And they did speak English. It was their third language and they spoke it fluently. But obviously they're going to speak their first language more amongst each other. So being a lot of times in a room with people and they're saying stuff you don't know what they're talking about, you can feel isolated. And I realized during that experience that I do love basketball and I love that I get to do what I love and get paid to do it, but I just miss my family. And so I wanted to come back home, and I actually started coaching when I was overseas. I coached the high school team and they were awesome. They were undefeated. And to be honest with you, like that's kind of where I got a little bit of the itch and enjoyed it. So when I did get the call from my former coach later on to come back and coach with her, I wasn't as hesitant because I got to experience that when I was in Europe, and really getting to help those other young ladies do things and grow in their game and, connect from a basketball perspective. I love that. So putting down the basketball to stop playing, it was hard. I think that's a hard transition for any athlete. But I was blessed enough to transition into coaching pretty quickly, like within the next, I want to say I came back maybe 6 months after I came back, I was coaching at the college level. And so I got to be around it in a different capacity. And I had to mature pretty quick and separate myself as a student athlete versus a coach, because there's a huge difference. And I had to learn a different perspective of it. But it was hard. I wish I could go back and play, but these old bones not gonna probably let me. But it's hard though. But I think everything in life comes in seasons. And the older you get, the more you realize it was good for that season of my life. And I learned something from it and I enjoyed it. And now I get to use that experience to help other people.
How's that process like, obviously going to your alma mater to first start as a coach? And what was it like transitioning? And also during that time, what was it like when you had other players that grew up with you coaching them?
Yes. I think anytime you get to coach at your alma mater, there's a sense of pride there. There's a sense of expectation there that you once played here, you once won here, and so you know it can be done. And you get to speak from a place of, I know it can be done because we did it. And so I think that players feel that sense of pride and they respect you. And so then they want to uphold that same standard. Um, I enjoyed it. When I was at Lon Morris College in Jacksonville, Texas, is a very small, tight-knit basketball community. They love basketball. And so not only our women's program, the coach that I played for, Coach Rosalind Tyndall, the men's coach as well, Dale Dotson, they, you know, ran a very good program as well. So I was able to learn from both, grow in my coaching abilities by watching, to me, two of my favorite coaches of all time be able to provide opportunities to young people who maybe didn't get it somewhere else, and be able to help be a part of being a catalyst to help them get to the next stage of their life. And so I just think that for me, you know, going to your alma mater, there's that sense of pride. And then the transition part, I learned a lot, but I learned a lot. I was at our practices, you know, gleaning from my head coach. I was at our men's practicing, gleaning from our men's coach. And it was just a blessing to be able to be around that, because I think, me personally, I think JUCO basketball is some of the best basketball that's being played out there. So, but I enjoyed it. It was good. The transition is just that it was kind of tough. You learn a lot as you go, but I was in a good environment, great basketball community where they supported us. And it was a good opportunity for us to build something special there.
What was that feeling like when you did take over that program there to become the head coach?
It was kind of scary, to be honest. When you come behind a coach that you respect and that you love, and that did some amazing things herself, it was hard to come in and not necessarily do everything like she did, but kind of to still have your same identity, you know, your own identity, if you will. But there's still a lot of things that I do still to this day that I got from her, right? Like, I am who I am because of so many things that she implanted in me, right? Like, that she taught me. So it was kind of scary, because you don't want the program to decline, right? Like, you don't want it to get worse. Like, and then you want her to be proud. You want your athletic director that hired you to be proud. And so, you know, getting the opportunity, I think a lot of people get focused on that, but there's a preparation phase that I was going through during that whole time, that I think you got to be prepared for moments like that, so that when you do get the opportunity, I was able to elevate it. Like, the year before, we won 13 games. My first year, we won 18 games. And so a lot of it is just being prepared and saying, okay, what were things that she did that was good? I want to keep doing that. And then in my own identity, in my own way, I want to add to that and be better. And so, but I think you only learn that from, you know, being in a good environment, being able to, like I say, just grow and be prepared for the opportunity. But it was scary. I'm not gonna you know, talk that. It was very scary, because you want to make those that hired you proud, you know.
During your time as the head coach at your alma mater, what were some of the things that you learned to prepare you for your next 2 head coaching jobs?
I learned that recruiting is the lifeline of everything you do, and I can only coach so much. As much as we like to think as coaches that we develop this and develop that, it is true, we do a lot of development. But if you will really recruit the right players that do probably 80% of what you're trying to get done, you'll make your life a lot easier. So I learned that recruiting had to be what I spent a lot of my time and resources on, so that when they got there, They already did most of the stuff that we were trying to get them to do. We just critiqued it and elevated it a little bit more. So for instance, I like to play man-to-man defense. I need to recruit players that already play good quality man-to-man defense. If you sit in a zone for 40 minutes, or high school, they don't play that much, but you know what I'm saying? If they play zone for the whole game, they're going to struggle coming to my program where we play man most of the time. So you got to recruit that stuff. So I learned that, and that obviously prepared me for my next few stops. But I also learned, the importance of building that community, fundraising, connecting with alumni. We will host basketball camps. It's a great way to integrate the community and kids with what you're doing. And then it helps your current players get a sense of ownership and help them really understand that they are role models in the community too. So then there's that awareness piece that helps them with their character, which is very important.
During your time, what did you learn at Cisco, and how were some of your accomplishments at Cisco College?
So Cisco College, I was only there 8 months. I wasn't there long. The reason why I went there was because in 2012, Long Morris College shut down. They filed bankruptcy and shut down. So that's what led me out to Cisco College. And while I was there, I learned that I had more to offer the game of basketball than just coaching at the college level. And me and my husband actually sat down and started writing out a business plan of how we could help people outside of just those 15 players on our roster. I got the job late. It was probably July when I got there. And so it wasn't a lot of recruiting that I could do that late. And, we didn't have the best season, but we did still have an all-conference player. Our team GPA was still ranked, and we had 100% graduation rate. So that season was more about just kind of resetting the culture there and making sure that, those student athletes were students first, graduating, and preparing them for the next level or place that they went to after that. I was also able to be a part of helping hire the next coach that came after me. So building those connections with our athletic director and the president there at the time and the dean of students, enough for them to trust me to help with that decision was awesome. So I got to learn a little bit about the hiring process as well, which was nice.
What was that short time at the pit stop at Cisco to help you to get your next head coaching job?
I think the biggest piece was the recruiting. I felt really good about the players that we were recruiting that year coming in. And if you've ever been to Cisco, Texas, there's not a lot there. They didn't even have a Walmart out there. So I learned that people, when they come to play for me and my husband, it is truly us. It's not the school, because there wasn't much to sell about Cisco College other than this is an opportunity to play. So I learned that if I can recruit to Cisco College, I can recruit anywhere, which did prepare me for when I went to San Jacinto College in Houston.
Of course, what was the last 7 years of your head coaching job like, going from being a head coach on the college level to getting a short time on the high school level coaching?
Yeah, I would say for me, the transition was tough because you are used to at the college level going and selecting the players that's on your team. Well, you can't legally do that at the high school level. So that's hard. That's a challenge when you get to go from selecting who you're coaching to just coaching who shows up. That is hard. But when we transitioned out of coaching back in 2016, we focused on building our business KBJ Academy. We moved back to the Dallas area, and a huge part of, if you notice those different places that I went, we were living out of a suitcase. Like we were moving around, and with college coaching, you got to go where the jobs are. I think that can take a toll on you mentally. It can take a toll on you emotionally. It's hard to gain some stability when you're constantly moving. So transitioning to the high school level, although it was hard because I couldn't recruit them and they weren't the same level of talent, I did enjoy being, 5 miles from my house. And I did enjoy, getting to go home, and be home within a few minutes and not have to be on the phone making a bunch of recruiting calls. I did enjoy that piece. And then also those young ladies that I got to coach at the high school level, they were just so grateful to have me and so grateful to get to be coached by me, which was totally different from what I experienced at the college level. At the college level, they think you should be grateful to have them. So, which we are, don't get me wrong, but I just thought when I got to coach those young ladies in high school that there was just a sense of appreciation that I had never felt before. And not just from them, even their parents. They were so kind and so good to me and just made me feel appreciated. So there was good and maybe not so good stuff that I got to experience. But I think for that season of my life, coaching at the high school level was what I needed. And being here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area around family, around friends, I needed that. So it was good.
What is the KBJ Academy and what do you offer there?
So KBJ Academy was a business me and my husband started in 2014, where initially it was just skills training. So we would do skills training and basketball camps to help high school student athletes or middle school student athletes elevate their game and get recruited to play at the next level. So as the years went on, it just started growing, and we went from just 1 or 2 student athletes to, I think right before COVID hit, probably that whole year in 2019, we had saw almost 3,500 student athletes. We had coached them or trained them or something in that 1 year. And then since COVID, we've pivoted a little bit, but it's not as many camps or as many student athletes at the camps, just for safety reasons. But we're still doing camps. We're still doing basketball clinics. We don't offer individual skills training anymore, just because we'll be stretched too thin with our present jobs if we try to do that. But with it, we also offer podcasts, Hoops with KBJ and Coffee with KBJ. Both of them are for different audiences, but we speak from our experience in business and sports and how you can integrate those lessons we learn into life and be successful. And we wrote a book called Play College Basketball, and that book helps student athletes and their parents navigate the recruiting process, as well as when they go there, how to be successful once you get there, because there's more to it than just signing on a dotted line. And so we talk them through that process as well, and kind of how to even navigate, conflict when it comes up, or the idea of transferring. How do I deal with that? So we offer that as well. And we've done team building retreats with several programs across the country, and just kind of help build the morale and improve communication so people can be successful in their locker rooms as well. So that's KBJ Academy. It's been around for a while. It's me and my husband just taking what we have learned through our experience, the successes and the failures, and offering those services to other people so that they can be better than what we were.
What has the transition been like from moving from place to place to now coming to Texas Wesleyan to become their next head coach there?
I would say for that period of my life, the moving around, it didn't bother me as much. Now I'm in a little bit older season of my life. I don't want to move around like that. I just had a daughter almost a year ago. So me and my husband's first daughter, and I don't want her moving around like that. So it's been good for us. It's been good for us to be here at Texas Wesleyan in Fort Worth. I'm still close to family. The high school I graduated from is about 20 minutes from here. So I get that support as well. The athletic director and the coaches there are very supportive, as well as the network of coaches out here. It's a great place to be. Women's basketball is thriving in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so it is just a great location to be in. And I'm really grateful to be able to be back on the college level and to be able to recruit my own players again. But the best part is that I get to be around family, around friends, and in a stable location for me and my husband, and obviously for my daughter, because that's important in this season of my life.
How's it been like, obviously, being 2 years into the head coach and turning around the program in just 2 years?
It has been a challenge. I think it's a lot harder than probably what people realize. When I took the program over the year before, they had only won one game. And my first year here, we won 25 games and qualified to get to the NAIA national tournament, which was only like the third time in program history. This year, we are sitting at currently 18-2. We are first in the Sooner Athletic Conference. We return back our 3 leading scorers and leading rebounders, and a lot of other very valuable players and pieces that really help us. Even though they may not be the leading scorer, they are extremely valuable to our success. So I think retaining them was important for us to continue to improve this year. And so I talked about recruiting earlier. I had to recruit them first, I had to recruit them in the off season, and then recruit and plug in some pieces that we so desperately needed to take our program, hopefully to a championship at some point. We would love to do that this year, but again, with it being our second season in, this year, next year, whatever, we definitely want to get the first Sooner Athletic Conference championship that Texas Wesleyan has ever had since they've been in the Sooner. So it's been a challenge though. A lot of things that get in the way, a lot of distractions, limited resources here. But again, my thoughts are, if I can recruit to Texas Wesleyan, I can recruit anywhere. If I can be successful here with limited resources, I can be successful anywhere. So I just stay focused on the goal. I try to stay solution-minded at all times and try to find a way to still get what we want, even if it looks like, maybe things aren't going in our favor. And so because of that, because I've taken on that mindset, my players have taken on that mindset, and we've been able to string together a good quality season so far, and hopefully keep going and finish stronger than what we started.
As a new head coach, what has it been like, obviously, coming in and rebuilding the program and rebuilding, most importantly, the culture to make it your own winning culture?
I would say that's the hardest, because anytime you come in with a new way of doing things, a lot of people don't like change. And even though the change has been good, other people on the outside would say it's good because we're winning, we're graduating. Our team GPA has gone from a 3.0 to a 3.4. So the things that I'm putting in are good, but that doesn't mean that it's embraced all the time, right? So that part is tough, but it's a part of the job. It's a part of why I was, offered the position. And so I have to just keep that in mind and not let people's negative opinions get in the way. And some of it is not personal, even though some people try to make it personal. It's not personal to me. Realistically, people just don't like change, and that is okay. Even though the change benefits them, people just don't like it. And so you got to have thick skin when you come into an environment to change the culture. But it started with us. It started with just the character piece. Like, you're going to be respectful. You're going to communicate. You're going to show up. You're going to communicate with each other. If you're committing to this program, you're committing to it through the good times and the bad, whether things are going your way or not. So the character piece first, then the classroom piece second, and making sure that our academics was a priority with things like study hall. Again, they don't like it, but hey, if it's helping you to get to graduating, then it you don't have to like everything that we do, but is it beneficial to you? And then obviously the court stuff and what we did on the court and basketball wise, that's a very important piece. But if you can address those first two, the character, the classroom stuff, the academic, focus, then I think the basketball stuff is just a matter of recruitment and getting the right players in.
As a head coach, what is it? What is that feeling like getting to step on the court for the first time and get a career win and even secure that and make more of a legacy?
Sure, it feels good. It feels good. It makes you hungry for more. It lets you know that you're in the right direction and that all your hard work is for something. And obviously not just me winning, but also I've won 100 games in my career since we've been at Texas Wesleyan. Of the 50, I think 52 games that we won, we've won 43 of them, which is, 85% of the games we've won, which is awesome. Not a lot of people get to do that. And so I definitely feel blessed to be able to do it. I'm grateful that not only God gave me the ability to do it, but he gave me the strategy and the favor with people that they would, buy into what we're teaching. So it feels good, and every win feels better than the last win. So hopefully I'll get even more. And like you mentioned, leaving a legacy at Texas Wesleyan and just setting the standard really high so that it's better when I leave than the way that I found it. I think that's kind of my philosophy on life. Everywhere I go, I want to leave it better than the way that I found it.
Of course, leading into that 100th win, what was that feeling like when you did make it to that career 100th win for Texas Wesleyan?
It was initially nerve-wracking because I kept, I guess, mentally like, well, what if I don't get it, or what if we don't win it, which is silly to think that. But I mean, I was kind of nervous. But when we finally, I would say probably about 4 minutes left in the game, and I was looking at the score and I could tell we had the momentum, I kind of just relaxed and was like, okay, we're gonna get it. This is it. So it was awesome. It was an amazing feeling and a day I'll never forget.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play collegiate basketball?
Yes, so for our school, we are very big on camps. We want to bring students, we watch film and we do evaluate high school transcripts. So anybody wanting to play for us, first thing I would say is send me a copy of a full game film along with some highlights that you have, because I want to see your highlights, but I also want to see a full game film because I need to know what you do when you make mistakes, because we all make them. I need to see, is there a momentum shift when you're in the game versus when you're on the bench? So I want to see a full game film, okay? But in addition to that, a copy of your unofficial high school transcript or junior college transcript so that I can evaluate your academic preparation before you come here, because Texas Wesleyan is kind of a tough school and I don't want to set anybody up, to struggle. So we got to make sure we have people that are prepared for the rigor that they're going to get here. After that, like I said, we put a high premium on camps. We want you on our campus. We want you interacting with us, with our players, with our coaches. We want to show you around. We want to get a feel for you. And during those camps, you're here for 3 to 4 hours. And so we really get to kind of see your personality, see how you interact with people, and obviously see your work ethic on the court. But those are the 3 main pieces: the film, the transcript, and then coming to a camp. That's important for us. And from there, then, we'll make our offers based on our needs. If we need a post player or if we need a point guard, it's based on what we need at that time. But I would say those are the 3 main things. And camps are really a great opportunity for you as a player to interview me as a coach and really do your research on my team. Ask my team what they think about me. Ask my team how they adjusted playing for me. I think those camps are just such a great way for you as a student athlete to do your research as well and see, is it a good fit both ways? Because I think it's got to be not only what we need, but what you need too.
As a head coach, when on the road, what are some of the things that you look at in those prospective student athletes visiting the schools?
So when I go out and recruit, I am looking for players who have a motor, who work hard, who don't have to be told to give effort or energy. Because if I have to coach effort or energy at our level, that's a problem. I'm also looking for players who play good quality man-to-man defense, move their feet. They don't have to do too much with the basketball in order to be effective offensively. And by that, I mean, do you understand moving without the ball? Do you understand that every time you set a screen, you're also going to be open? And are you able to make those reads? What is your court vision like? Do you see beyond just who's guarding you? Like, can you tell that there's nobody in help side? And so if I drive baseline, I'm going to be wide open once I get past my man. Again, moving without the ball, affecting the game, impacting the game without having to touch the ball, like going and getting rebounds and pressuring defensively to get steals. I look at that kind of stuff. And I look at it at the high school level as well as AAU. And I'm also evaluating that stuff when they come to our campus, when they come on visits. Do you stare at your cell phone the whole time while you're on a visit, or are you interacting with us? That's important, because we got to have people that interact, that talk, that communicate. And it's kind of hard to get a feel for you when you're staring at your cell phone the whole time. And I also look at, are their parents doing most of the talking for them, or can they articulate themselves? That's important too. I like interacting with parents. I recruit parents. I talk to parents, but I need to know that your daughter can interact with me and can talk with me, because you're going to drop them off and they've got to interact. They got to communicate what they need, what they think. And so I look at that stuff too. And I'm not saying parents can't talk, but if they're the ones dominating the conversation, that's not going to be healthy, because they're probably going to do that, for the whole time that they're with you. So I look at that stuff too. I like involved parents, but I need student athletes that know what they want and that also can articulate that, can have a good conversation, like to have fun, good little personalities, but also work hard and do their job in the classroom as well. So I look at a lot of different things. It's not just, can you score 20 points? We got people that can do that. I'm looking for other things as well. And some of it is not just basketball specific. So
of course, when it comes to the official visit, what does that process look like for those prospective student athletes coming to Texas Wesleyan?
If I'm offering an official visit, we have probably already evaluated film and transcripts, and academically they will be successful here based on what we can see film-wise, or I saw them in person. I've already seen them play. I know they can help us, and so we'll offer them to come in on an official visit, send them, an itinerary, and we'll make sure that our current players are available to meet with them. We might even have them meet with an academic advisor or a teacher that's in their department, because that's important that they start making those connections early and get a good understanding of their academic future here, because we want all our student athletes to graduate. When they get to campus, we'll show them around. We'll make sure that they see exactly where everything is. Everything is walking distance. It's a small, tight-knit community here at Texas West. We're only 10 miles from downtown Fort Worth. And so we might take them out to dinner downtown Fort Worth just so they can see how close it is. And there is the campus life. And so you're visiting that, but then you also need to know you're in a major city here too. And so there's an opportunity for you to have a good quality of life here. And more importantly than all of that, when you graduate, there's job opportunities right here in Fort Worth if you're interested in that as well. So we try to talk them through all of that, because I think coming to Texas Wesleyan is not about just coming here and playing. It's also about coming here, playing, graduating, and then getting a job. So we kind of want the end in mind, even on the visit. So we'll take them through that as well, and probably have them stay in a hotel for one night, and then maybe take them out for breakfast in the morning and spend a little bit more time with them, see what would stop you from signing with us. What hesitations do you have? What did we not answer so far? And give them the opportunity to kind of sleep on it and answer any questions they might have before we send them home to go their separate ways. So that's kind of our official visit. We've already done our research by then. We know you're a good fit, and now it's just making sure that the personalities fit and you can see a future here.
As a head coach, what is it like obviously seeing those freshmen put on that jersey for the first time versus seeing a senior put it on for the last time?
For the freshmen, it's always, it reminds me of my first time putting on a uniform. You're excited and jittery, and just try to keep them focused on doing small things so that they don't get so worked up that they, make a ton of mistakes. But they're freshmen, and they play like freshmen usually. But once they kind of get over the jitters of it all, they usually settle in and do pretty well. So it's always fun seeing that, because that is a lot of our dreams back when we were in high school, is putting on a college uniform. And then for the seniors, just getting to help them be present and in the moment. A lot of them, at our school that will be their last time wearing a college uniform. And they probably won't go on to play at the next level professionally because they're ready to transition into their career. So it's tough because you want them to be present and in the moment as well, and just focus on doing small things and enjoying the career that they've had, but also to just being okay and content with the fact that, although this season is ending, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It was good while it was going on, and you've done some special things, and just try to, make it a lasting memory as much as we can.
What are some of your future plans as the head coach?
Future plans, we would like to do some locker room renovations. We would love to host some more camps and get connected with our community. I would also love to obviously, like I said earlier, win a Sooner Athletic Conference championship. And so recruiting the right players that can help us do that is very important. If we can do that, I feel like, this program is in the right place where it can do that here pretty soon. And I would love to be able to have that experience with our seniors. We got 4 seniors this year. And so I would love to be able to have that experience with them this year or next year when they come back from grad year. Both years would be great. So that's kind of on our agenda. We would love to, win a conference championship, and so, like I say, some off-course stuff like fundraising, connecting with the community. I would love to renovate that locker room because I feel like they spend a lot of time in there, and I would love that space to be a little bit more inviting and welcoming. And it's just been decades since it's been upgraded, so I think it's time. And so that as well. And then the last piece that I would love to add on here at Texas Wesleyan, something that I've talked to my athletic director about, is building more community connections to help our young ladies transition smoother and quicker into postgraduate jobs. I don't want them floating around taking odd and end jobs. I would like them to get connected in their careers. And so we are working to build those relationships so that as they transition out, it's a little bit smoother transition into their careers. Because it's already hard enough after you finish playing to accept that you're done playing, but then you add on top of that having a hard time getting a job or getting started in your career. That's also can take a little bit of a mental toll on you. So that will be probably the most pressing thing that I would love to build. We've done a good job so far of getting them to employment, but I would like to see that improve even more. So just building those relationships with community partners and businesses, and making sure that we have doors open for our young ladies after they graduate.
What advice would you give those high schoolers and college freshmen looking to get started in playing collegiate college?
I would give the advice to, first and foremost, find probably the top 5 or 6 colleges in your area within a 2-hour drive. And don't just look at the Division Ones like the University of Texas or Texas A&M. You can look at them, that's fine. But I also want you to find within a 2-hour radius about 5 or 6 schools of all different level. Go to a junior college basketball game, go to an NAIA basketball game, Division I, Division II, Division III. Try to visit all of those levels, even the NCCAA. Try to visit each one of those levels, go to a game and really watch the different levels of play so that you can be a little bit more realistic about your approach and the opportunities that sometimes come to you. From there, after you watch a game, I would encourage you to go to a camp. I would encourage you to go to clinics that are at these college campuses, because it's a great opportunity to interact with coaches, with their players, and really find the right fit. Last piece of advice would be to make sure that your academic status is the best it can be, because the higher your GPA is, like for instance at Texas Wesleyan and a lot of schools that I talk to who can offer more scholarship money, the higher your GPA is. And so a lot of decision making comes down to that bottom line and what is affordable. And I can get more money for my student athletes here, the higher their GPA is. So take care of your business in the classroom. A minimum should be a 3.0. I mean, if you can get a 3.5, that's even better. But boy, if you a 4.0, it's hard to turn down a 4.0 student athlete. So achieve as much as you can academically, and don't let that be a reason why you don't get to go do what you love, is your academic stuff.
What advice would you give those juniors and seniors that are looking to go on to play professionally, whether it's the WNBA, Athletes Unlimited, or even overseas?
The biggest piece of advice would be you definitely need to know that that's what you want to do, and go ahead and start piecing together some highlight film that you might have. With today's technology, with like Synergy and all of these other video editing companies, go ahead and start piecing together some highlight films that you have, and have a full game footage already, just from beginning to end, just raw. You want to have both the highlights and the full game. I would just upload it to a YouTube link and have it ready and available. That way, whenever that time comes and you are looking to promote yourself, whether you want to promote yourself personally or you want to get an agent, they're going to want game film. And so you need to already have that together and organized and already uploaded to a YouTube link. I say YouTube because YouTube is free. And so that's easy to just send a link through an email, and you don't have to worry about trying to download it. I just click the link and go to YouTube. And then I would also say, put together a player resume. So just like you put a resume together for a job, put a resume together is you as a player, what you have accomplished, where you played, you know, what awards did you win? How many wins did you help your team get? Put all of those things in there. And prepare to send that stuff out yourself, or you might need to get an agent that can do that for you. So that would be my piece of advice for juniors and seniors trying to go play professionally, is don't wait until you finish playing to gather all of that film and stuff together. You can have all of that stuff prepared now. And then obviously, as you play games and you finish out your season and you have more highlights to add that in as well.
What advice would you give those coaches that are looking to get started in coaching in college, whether it's a head coach or being an assistant coach?
The greatest piece of advice I would say is to tap into your personal network of coaches that you played for or teammates that you played with. I'm sure if you played, you have somebody that you know that is in coaching, at least one person. So tap into that personal network first, because that's going to be a great place to start. And it may be with them that you get your first opportunity, or maybe with someone that they know. And so a lot of coaches are hired based on who you know or who knows you. So even if they don't have an opportunity for you, if they are talking with somebody over lunch and that coach says, hey, I'm looking for an assistant coach, you know, have your resume ready. Already have some established relationships with the AAU world and these travel teams that you can get on the phone and get access to their players pretty quick. In my opinion, if you're trying to go coach at the college level, you need to already have a database of players that are available by class, 2023s, 24s, 25s, and 26s. And you need to not only have that database of the players, but you need to also have their contact information, their parents' contact information, their AAU coaches, and their high school coaches. So you at our level, at the college level, recruiting is the name of the game. And so you need to have a recruiting database, or the question becomes, what value do you add to their organization if you can't get them players? So tap into your personal network, put it out there that you're looking to get into coaching, get your resume together, have your recruiting database, and last but not least, work camps, clinics, and don't be afraid to go volunteer at an organization to get the experience you need and to build the network. Because every time you play another program, you should be shaking their hands, saying, hey, how you doing? My name is Brentia Jackson, and I'm looking for an opportunity, after this, and let me know if you hear of anything that comes up. Obviously, you got to do a good job where you at, or they ain't gonna call you. but certainly that's an opportunity to network if you volunteer to get in, and you start meeting those coaches as you go along, and just be a helper. Like wherever you go, just help. If they need help with bringing pizzas in after the game, or the visiting team needs help with finding a training room, just be helpful, because coaches remember stuff like that, and would be willing to give you an opportunity if you assert yourself and make yourself known, and obviously the current coach that you under needs to be able to validate that you do work hard.
What advice would you give those collegiate head coaches that are looking to build their own program?
Biggest piece of advice that I would say, if you're a new head coach, I would just say, figure out what your philosophy is, your identity is, and recruit players that align with that. Recruit coaches that buy into that as well, because you got to have unity on staff in order to have unity in the locker room. And then from there, I would say get connected with some coaches that are on your level, and also get connected with coaches that are at the high school level, because they have to win with the players that show up. And so if they can win at that level, there's some stuff that they're doing that we can learn from at our level. And then a mentor, always have one or two mentors of people that you can bounce ideas off of, and especially scenarios and circumstances that come up. You want to have a mentor, somebody that has been in this game, maybe 20, 30 years, and could say, yeah, I went through that back in 2015, or yeah, I went through that back in 2002, and this is how I handled it. So that will help you, because it's a tough business. Everybody thinks they can do your job, so you got to have thick skin. You have to be okay with people accusing you of stuff, even if you didn't do it. And so you got to document stuff and be above reproach. But I personally think that, if your heart is in the right place and you care about helping student athletes, then things will work out the way that they need to. So just start with your identity, start with your philosophy, recruit players that match that, recruit coaches that match that, and then get connected with people that are in the business at your level, above it, and even in the high school level, and learn. Always be a lifelong learner and grow from other people's experiences, so you don't have to go through some of the stuff they went through.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with the Texas Wesleyan women's basketball program?
So you can find me personally. I am at Brenita, Brenita 33, and I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere, LinkedIn, Facebook. My team, though, which most of the stuff I post is going to be about either my sweet little daughter or my team. And the team is Texas Wesleyan women's basketball. So you can find us on social media at TXWESWBB. Okay, and that's all over social media. And then obviously on our website, ramsports.net. All our games are there. You can watch us play online there as well. And then if you want to get connected with us, if you go to our website, it's got all of our contact information. I'm easiest accessible through email. Feel free to send me an email, bjackson@txwes.edu. And I'd love to connect with you all.
Thank you again, Coach Brentia Jackson, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the head coach for the basketball program at Texas Wesleyan.
Yes, I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about, what we're building, and more importantly, excited about the legacy that our young ladies are getting to leave at Texas Wesleyan University. So we've got about 8 games left that are promised to us this season. And then after that, we got to keep earning them to keep playing. And so the future is bright here in Fort Worth, and we would love to finish a good thing that we've started.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Brentia Jackson, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.